It's Derby Day in the great state of Texas as we experience rugby's newest facility in Houston called AVEVA Stadium. It's the SaberCats against the Austin Elite. Hello and welcome to this historic occasion. I'm Dallin Stanford, joined alongside by former US coach Pete Steinberg, and well, interim head coach Paul Emmerich has done stunningly well. His side beating NOLA, the front runners for many times, in a thrilling 27-20 result last week. And Austin, well, disappointing their season, but they want to wrap up with a great victory here today against their rivals. How do you see this one shaping up, Pete?
Well, both teams are disappointed with their season, but remarkably, Dallin, both teams have scored 27 tries and conceded 57, exactly the same try stats. So I think it's going to be a really tight matchup.
Which players do you think we need to keep an eye out on for today?
Well, I think one of the big shifts that Paul Emmerich made with the Houston SaberCats was to move the Fijian star, Josh Vithi, from wing to center. And last week, he gained 174 meters in that win over NOLA. But Austin brings some big hitters on defense. And Josh Larson, he's made 174 tackles this season, and paired with Ben Mitchell, I think they're the best defensive lock duo in the league.
Well, let's hear from our other commentary partner, Austin Ivan, down pitch side.
Thanks, Dallin. Weather could play a factor in today's game between the heat and wind. Both Houston and Austin are used to playing in temperatures like these, so they know how important hydration is throughout the entire game. You can see the temperature right now is 91 degrees, so it will be a hot one. When we come back, the Houston SaberCats are hosting the Austin Elite here at the brand new AVEVA Stadium.
Gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise as we honor America with the presentation of our nation's colors. Today's color presentation will be presented by Cadet First Lieutenant Austin Patterson, Cadet Staff Sergeant Jacoby Woods, Cadet Sergeant Keenan Vertrees, and Cadet Corporal Gerald Robinson from the Texas City Independent School District, Marine Corps ROTC Color Guard.
Yep, this is Pete, not on talkback.
This is Dallin, not on talkback. Go.
And now here to perform the Star Spangled Banner, please welcome retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Kat Struce. Fans, we ask you to look to the sky and welcome the Coast Guard M865 rescue helicopter during our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to join me in singing. Oh, say can you see my land
Tonight we salute all those that have served. We thank you for your service. Houston, well, tremendous front row. Look for Captain Matt Truvel, always impressive. And one to watch is Luke Beecham. He's a monster in the loose.
And in the backs, there's been one big change, and that is Zach Pangilinan moving in at 9. Normally, they're starting fullback. Big change for them, but as Paul Emmerich said, he is a utility player of the highest order.
Going up against them, the Austin side, impressive tight 5. Look for Peter Malcolm and Ben Mitchell leading the charge. Ricka Swat, he's a gifted player wearing the number 8 jersey today.
And in the backs for Austin, another fullback stepping in at scrum half with Judas. And look for Andrew Suniolo to partner up with Andres Villaseca in the centres. That partnership will be important for the game.
Our officials for this game, whistle in hand, Luke Rogan from Australia. He'll be assisted by Scott Green and Butch Nguyen-Schwanda for the ARs. Looking pretty in pink. Of course, it is a massive occasion for both these sides. A chance to get one over their rivals. 21-20 the score the last time these two sides met 17 weeks ago.
So it is hot here, Dallin, but it's also pretty windy. I mean, it's one of the interesting things that we found when we came out. It was the wind, and I think there's going to be a bit of an advantage for Houston in this half. Look for Sam Windsor to use his foot to play some territory and then use their great set piece to put Austin under pressure in their half.
It's Austin in white and baby blue on the screen on your right to receive this. The Houston SaberCats in black with yellow numbers. And welcome to week 18 of Major League Rugby. These two teams from Texas about to lock horns.
And we're on.
We're underway. Ball sits up in that breeze. Being knocked. So first scrum of the game will go to the Austin Elite side.
And you're absolutely right, Dallin. Immediately, Silver's kick held up in the breeze made it very, very difficult. Didn't even get over 10, I don't think so, but Houston tried to play it and knock on. And this scrum is going to be a really, really important matchup. Paul Mullen, the USA tight head, going up against Takizawa, the Japanese loose head, is going to be a key matchup and very important for Austin.
That's right, the 33-year-old Takizawa had some visa issues. He's finally here, represented Japan in the under-23 level. And so scrum feed here, 2 interesting battles in the 9 jersey as well. Soel Jurda. See a headband there on Zach Pangilinan. Such a talented ball player is Pangilinan. And they get a penalty. It's tap and go quickly. Ricka Swat takes the contact. The Austin forwards look to get on early. Good over the advantage line. Mitchell, captain. Silva. Early ball for his backs to attack with. So Andres Villaseca was involved there as well. Late change for JP Aguera. And now they batter it up. Getting involved there too. Travis Larson, 27-year-old from the east coast of Vancouver Island. Flat ball. Swart loves the contact. Just looking for black jerseys to run over. As Silva recycles. The Fly has to take it in himself. 26-year-old from Montevideo, Uruguay. 2 tries so far in this competition, and he's lost possession for his team.
And that's one of the challenges that Austin have had. Lots of possession. They were able to move the ball across the field, but no actual penetration. And I talked to Rodrigo Silva beforehand, and he's a natural fullback who's playing fly half. And I asked him, what's the difference? And he said, at fullback, you only have to worry about yourself. You have the ball, you get to do stuff, but at fly half, he has to be able to bring other people into play. So I think it's great for his development, but you could see, even there, he's not someone who's naturally able to put other people into the hole.
Difficult time to step up in unique positions. I'll get a first look here at a very powerful scrum for the Houston SaberCats. 96% effective scrum ratio, second to Seattle after the first 17 rounds. And they'll reset. You mentioned some of their players up front, and Pat O'Toole, Paul Mullen and Sanguinetti, just so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, they're the best scrum in the league. I think it's been one of the disappointing things for Houston is that they've had a great scrum and a very, very solid line-out, but they haven't been able to do anything with it. And I think one of the big changes that Paul Emmerich has made is their willingness to move the ball wide from the set piece. So I think they'll look to get the ball into Kalinisau or Vithi's hands early, see if they can run from the scrum.
Paul Emmerich, international, over 50 caps for the USA centre. And that's why he wants to get the ball wide. He knows there's so much talent out there as well. Pangilinan, they'll get a penalty. Scrum just collapsing there, and Austin pinged this time. So penalties are going each way at scrum time.
So lots of battles going on here, and Luke Rogan's trying to make some statements early on. So his first statement was, don't have an early drive, right? So make sure that you hold your weight. And then his second statement was, make sure you stay up. I think it's going to be an interesting battle with the binds that's happening with Takizawa and Paul Mullen. You can see they're fighting for their binds. That's going to be a critical thing as this game goes on. And immediately Sam Windsor uses his foot and a great attacking platform with this very, very strong line out from Houston.
Well, first look to see how the wind will play a factor. Pat O'Toole, the 24-year-old from Ireland. He will throw. They've got a couple of forwards lurking in back play. So short numbers. Line-up successful. Difficult ball to handle, so they go down the back there to pick it up, and Alejandro Nieto has to tidy things up for his side. Does well though, does the number 8. Pangilinan. Low ball though, Windsor picks us up nicely. Puts it downfield and bounces there for Zinzan Elan Paddock. And that's the wind taking through as well probably, and just too much on that.
Right, so if you kick the ball and it goes all the way dead, and dead means through the try zone and out the back, it's the opposition scrum. They have a choice. They could actually take the 22 or a scrum, but when you kicked it from your own half, they come all the way back. So I think a mistake there by Windsor. I think he's trying to work out the win. And we saw the challenge. We've seen the challenge both with Judat and with Pangilinan. When you have scrum halves, and I'm a former scrum half, the technical side of passing from the ground is really, really difficult. And we saw there that there were 2 passes by Pangilinan. Neither of them were great. One of them hit the ground. So they're going to have to probably shorten the space. The fly half is going to have to get a little closer, make those scrum half passes a little shorter so they can be more accurate. But here we go. Let's see if we can complete a scrum. 2 scrums, 2 penalties so far.
Head coach Alain Jardé and CJ DeVette and forwards coach Pedro Vandenberg look on for the Austin side. Attacking options left and right at scrum time. Stability is so important, as you mentioned, Pete. And here the big boys pack down. Penalty against Austin Elite.
And it looks like he's calling Takizawa for taking it down. So I think Takizawa, up against the experienced Paul Mullen, is really struggling to be able to stay up. And so the referee, because he pointed to that far side, he said, hey, that far side, you went that down. And the reason why a prop might do that, Dallin, is that if you're under pressure and you're going backwards, if you can drop it, it means that you can prevent the other team from driving forward, and that's what they're trying to do. So you can see the battle, they've got their arms, their binds up, and when the ball comes in, you can see blue number 1, Takizawa, right there. You can see his elbow comes down. He actually loses his bind. I think that's a good call by Luke Rogan.
And it means the Houston SaberCats on attack just outside their 22. O'Toole successful in his first line-out throw. This one a much more favourable position for his side to attack with. Look for threatened Palamo in midfield. Such a dangerous player as it's taken there by Luke Beecham, the 26-year-old from Brisbane, Australia. Man of the match last week performance against Nola from Beecham. They have it there with Truble. Matt Truble, known as the Walrus. You can see the remains of the Walrus on his face there. Just outside the 22 still. Now they pick and drive. Diego Magno getting involved. Ball's loose. It's been lost. Now Austin claimed this. Close to their line. Joda throws an awkward-looking pass to his fly of Silva, who was scored on the wrong side of the field.
So they were playing advantage there from the knock-on by Houston. An advantage means that you can try stuff. You can actually look to throw it around and see if something happens, because if you make a mistake and you don't get to go forward, then what you'll do is you come back. So you can see that the ball was knocked on there by Houston, and Judat, really smart, he says, hey, we have advantage. The referee says, hey, we've got advantage right there. And you can, I think maybe playing it on the floor. And it was interesting because when I spoke to Paul Emmerich, he actually talked about how important accuracy at the base of that ruck is for an inexperienced scrum half like Pangilinan. You have to make the ball very clean, and that's something they haven't done yet.
Austin defending the scrum. A lot of pressure on Sanoa Takizawa, the veteran. Of course, Mason Peterson in there as well. He's from Belmont Shore originally, played with the Austin Hunters also. to the far side, and they do collapse early.
So lots of pressure going on here, and you can see Takizawa, he's right there telling the referee, hey, he's not letting me bind, he's not letting me bind. You can see this time, you know what, I'm not sure. I think that Sanguinetti may have pulled that one down. So lots of little things going on, and as the prop, Dallin, you'll know which side the referee is, and if the referee's on the other side, you can do some things like pull it down if you feel like you didn't get into a good position.
And he's now come this side to check things out. Austin Elite 0-14 in their season so far. SaberCats have won 3 and lost 10. But of course a victory against Austin and Del Diamond, Round Rock earlier this year, and then one against Utah. We mentioned last week's win against NOLA. They have 3 more fixtures. Austin just 1 more after this one. Ball does come out. Joda attacks it short side. Places it nicely for the Elite. Get the battering rams back into play. Larson. Canara comes in, O'Toole does well. Garber. Cecil Garble over that. Pangilinan can get it away to Magno. Now they start to shift it.
Ball taken by the SaberCats.
Good strong tackle there on Cherubel. Windsor, short ball. Coming in the outside centre, it's Vithi. This time the wall does well to stop him early. Windsor gets it to Palamo. Quick hands, flicked over the top. Mikesell, Dean Mikesell beats a couple, does well to get inside the 22. Tremendous strength from the winger. Ball is still available for the SaberCats. It's a long one. Diego Magno gets the pass. Oh, so close for Sam Windsor.
So really great play there by Houston, attacking the short side, and beautiful hands by Kalenisau to be able to move it to Mixel, who did his stuff. But what I loved about it was when they made that break, this is where Pangilinan becomes really useful. You can see Mixel right here, breaks the tackle, almost comes down, fights on the ground, makes the ball. You can see Kalenisau, you can see the backs come in and clear it out. And then this pass by Pangilinan, it's so wide. That's what he brings. He brings an ability to be able to move it, and just didn't quite get the handle there by Sam Windsor. And then great turnover here. And this is the challenge that Austin have. They're really struggling to be able to have some attack, and they came right through. As long as you come from your own side and you keep your feet, you can turn that ball over. So great play by Houston. And again, we find ourselves another Austin scrum under pressure. And the last one, Takizawa, didn't even bind, which is illegal. It'll be interesting to see if he does this time.
10 minutes gone in this game, still 0-0 here at this new AVEVA Stadium. The crowd have come out to enjoy some local rugby as Palamo does well with the tackle. Looking to stop Rika Swart early. Austin driving through the phases. Remember, they got that stiff breeze facing them. And their rucking has not been good, and it's the reason why Houston can get involved. They do knock it on, but they attempt to get the ball. They don't get it on that occasion.
Well, that's really Judat showing his inexperience. The ball was there, it was won so quickly, and as an inexperienced scrum half, you don't know what to do. So what he did is he came in and he tried to bridge over the ball and protect it, and what he needs to do, especially with the athleticism he has, he needs to take that and just move. Austin need to work so much harder to be able to go over it. You can see great ball presentation and work right here, and you can see the ball was available and Judat comes in. Don't come in, take it and run with it. Play quickly. That's what Austin have to do. So far, and from a really solid scrum, they've had that possession. They just haven't had a chance to be able to do anything. And again, they find themselves in the shadows of their post with another scrum.
Yeah, Juda's another one of those players we've seen play on the wing. We've seen him at fullback as well, the Moroccan international. This one goes down again, so they have to reset things. And you mentioned our referee, Rogan. He's going to have a chat to the front rows now.
Well, I think that there's going to be a, for Austin, this is going to be about survival. And I think that Zwart had the ball at his feet a little bit too long. They want to get to the ball to the back. They want to be able to move it very quickly. They're trying to find ways to be able to neutralize this very powerful Houston pack.
So they look to reset things here. SaberCats AVEVA Stadium. It opened, soft open, April 13th this year. Has a capacity of 4,000, 3,200 seats. But this is the official open. Beautiful grass field as well. We were out there earlier, kicking the ball around. And there's 2 excellent fields just behind us as well. They hosted the ENSCO Championship All-Stars recently, as Judo now shifts it across. Finally, the backs get possession, set up the first phase. Looking to fight his way alive there, Villaseca. Uruguayan international. It's loose though. Certain try will be scored here. They're diving over. And it's Alejandro Nieto that gets the opening score of this game. Turnover, pressure, and that's a big 5 points.
Well, it's so disappointing for Austin because they had probably their most solid scrum, and the ball was at the back with Judat, and they weren't sure what to do, and Villaseca got it. And right now, look at this, Pangilinan at scrum half coming in, showing his physicality, and it was a beautiful turnover. And when you get that ball that close and you turn the ball over, you're not going to stop Nieto. But I think it all comes back to the indecision of Judat. And look at this, great way to stay on your feet, to be able to get over the ball and to be able to turn that ball over. And just too easy for Nieto there, but that was really done at the breakdown.
Beautiful dummy as well from the number 8. Well supported by his forward pack. They get the first try in this game.
Correction, it was weary number 8, Jameson.
Alejandro Nieto, 31 years age. His sister plays field hockey for Uruguay. And this man's getting married in March of 2020. Phenomenal rugby player. There's Sam Windsor, man from New South Wales, Australia. 103 points up the boot so far this season. And he adds 2 more, 7-0, 14 minutes gone here at AVEVA Stadium.
We have to remember that all of this came from that great kick by Sam Windsor all the way down into the corner. They have their wind at the back, and you know their inability to be able to hold on to the ball at the breakdown. They've had the ball 3 or 4 times, and every time they've turned it over. It's been the real challenge, and these Houston fans are enjoying that early score by the SaberCats.
This kick goes to 10 meters. Been taken nicely there by Diego Magno. Quick hands. Look to loop around there is Cecil Garber. Played with the Seattle Saracens in recent times. Now, threatened Palamo, steps with that left foot of his, beats a couple, look at him, ball in one hand. This is what we come to expect. He gets the pass away as well to O'Toole. This is stunning stuff. Vithi in midfield. Joshua Vithi gets it to Pangilinan and throws a dummy. He loves the contact as well as does the scrum off. Takes on 3 players himself. SaberCats right back in the thick of things. Malachi Esdale, first touch for him. Dummy runners as Windsor gets it through the back. Vithi, another big jump step. Fijians tackled nicely though, they still keep it alive. Windsor throws the dummy, half gap, somebody on the outside, threatened Palamo! Gets the fin, oh it's too easy! It's daylight robbery! And threatened Palamo should be arrested.
Wow, I mean, that was a wonderful try. It came all the way back from the edge of their 22. Some wonderful offloading, some great awareness. Sam Windsor really being able to control what's going on. So this is from all the way at the back. You can see threatened Palamo with his footwork. This is his 5th game where he got the start, having not played much, coming back from overseas. And look that offload right there. Great support by O'Toole. And then Vithi on the shoulder, and just really, really wonderful stuff. Pangilinan's involved, and then here comes again Palamo again, really showing he's come out. Great hands there by Windsor, and then another beautiful offload. Then he gets his hands out. He just says, I mean, I think that Mixel's outside him. He's like, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm just going to use my footwork. Just great to see him in a World Cup year, really coming into his own. And I think Paul Emmerich's been a big part of that. I think helping him be a more rounded player in the SaberCats has really opened up those opportunities.
Threatened Palamo debut against the Springboks in 2007 at the Rugby World Cup. Played in 2 others as well. Also a star in the Sevens World Series as his fly off Sam Windsor. His wife, a social media influencer, looks on. The Swan with the breeze will stay to the left-hand side, 12-0. Houston just showing some sparkling skills for the forwards and backs combining.
I have to say, when I saw that Threaten was 30, I felt like I was so old, because he's been around for so long, but you can just see he still has it. He still has it. I mean, he's played professionally overseas. He's played with some of the best players in the world, and when he gets going, I mean, of course, he played college football for the University of Utah. When he gets going, there's not a better player in the world doing things like that.
It's the other try scorer, Nieto, that gets this one down off the restart, and then Mullen can't handle that one. bit unexpected, so it'll give possession back to Austin. See if they can make something of this in the first 20 minutes.
And that's really disappointing because you do so many good things. You score 2 good tries. You field the ball cleanly. And a little bit inexperienced by Pangilinan. That pass, Marlon wasn't expecting it. I think he looked up, he saw it, he gave it to him. And a great attacking position, middle of the field. The last 2 scrums that Austin have had, they've been really solid. And what's so difficult here is that you can attack both ways and it puts pressure on the wings. You can kick, you can run. It's really challenging, but it's going to be hard for Austin to continue to get parity here against one of the best scrums in the league.
Well, that's how Houston have beaten those 3 sides. And they almost took out the Glendale Raptors as well with a massive scrum performance. Here they're at it again. The ball's kicked through though, so it comes through. Elan Patik. Couple of stutter steps from the fullback. He can't get through Pangilinan. So it's available though. Mitchell, the captain. Played rugby since the age of 6. Went to the University of College Cork. They go wide. Silva. Flat ball for his forwards to set up another phase. Penalty. Austin. Decision time for them.
So offside, that meant that when the ruck was formed, they were in front of the back foot. And that's really important in the game of rugby because that gives space for the attacking team to play. What was really interesting from that first scrum was Elan Patik took the ball, got in, and Dallin, do you know who the first person at the breakdown was? Judat. He's the scrum half. So here's the thing as a scrum half, don't run so hard. If you're the first person there, you're in the ruck. We don't want you in the ruck. Take your time to get there.
Secrets there from Pete Steinberg. No, but you're so right. Get the forwards involved there. You get the ball out quickly. Now, interesting choice here going for Poles. Down by 12. They haven't threatened that much. This is a local derby that they want to win.
Well, I think into the wind, they might be saying, when we get down here, let's take the points. And in the second half, that's when we can really have a go, look to kick for touch. But right now, whenever we're close, let's take those points so we can be close. So in the second half, we can use the win to our advantage.
Andres Villaseca, the Uruguayan international, from out in front at the 22-meter mark. First opportunity for his side. And he likes it. Flags go up. It's 12 points to 3. 20 minutes gone. And Austin find themselves on the scoreboard. It's time for a short break. We'll come back with more action soon. 12-3. Houston lead against Austin.
He ran out to the center real quick, but I told him we have one. Got it.
Major League Rugby on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by 20th Century Fox's Dark Phoenix. The Phoenix.
Be sure to check out 20th Century Fox upcoming film, Dark Phoenix. The Phoenix will rise. The X-Men will fall. In theaters June 7th. Rated PG-13. Let's go down to Austin Ivan, who's with Pedri Vandenberg.
Coach, Houston has a lead 12-3 right now. What challenges have they presented so far?
I think they got the territory at the moment. Good ball carriers. We miss a couple of tackles. We couldn't keep our ball for our opposition, and that's costing us at the moment for sure.
You just put 3 points on the board. What do you need to change offensively to score more going forward?
Definitely, with this wind, we have to keep the ball, the most important, so we can't kick it out, so we have to get the attack hard, try to get over the vantage line and just keep the ball for our possession.
Thank you, Coach. Dallin, I'll send it back up to you.
Vandenberg, wise words there. Thank you, Austin, on that. The elite coach. It's been knocked on, though, by his side. Not the start they want here in this second period of the first half.
Well, we talked about kickoffs for Houston and those kick receipts, which ended up being 3 points, and they mishandled it. And you're absolutely right. Into the wind, that was uncontested. You've got to be able to hold on to that ball. And now Houston, great attacking platform here. I think the wind is making it very difficult, but in that case, I think that Zwart just took his eyes off the ball, was thinking about what he was going to do next.
Yeah, gusts of 22 miles per hour. We mentioned that in the pre-game. You might not see it on the screen, but it's certainly affecting play right now. Pangolinan to feed the scrum. They've scored 2 tries already. This platform has been so powerful for them this season. Darren Morris now the forwards coach helping Paul Emmerich as Windsor takes it to the line. Vithi battering ram into 2 players. One of them is defender Andrew Suniula, known as the bus. He does well in defense as Luke Beecham takes another carry. He leads Houston with over 100 carries. Windsor looked inside and then got hammered by 2 Austin players. It's the captain, the Walrus, that gets the passway beautifully. Beecham, a little bit of space to operate. He's brought down there by Mason Peterson. Juggling one. Now they've moved outside the 22, have the home side, but they still have hands on the pill as Windsor look to go far. Oh, it's a shoulder. It's a cold one. And Austin almost turned that around. It stays with the men in black. Truval with a dummy. The Walrus does well, the big number 5. Austin lining up flat on defense, so Nieto takes it back into the contact. Now Windsor wants to shift it a bit wider. Vithi shows, cuts back in. Still going, keeps his legs alive. Peterson gets all over this ball and is rewarded with a penalty.
That is a phenomenal defensive stand by Austin. Their line speed was great, and here they go.
Judah wasting no time to keep it in hand. Wonderful offload. It's Ben Mitchell, the man from Cork in Ireland. Judah again puts his team on the front foot. Malcolm involved there as well. Cutout ball, Villaseca. Palamo finally chops him low. Another penalty, 2 in a row.
Vithi was just a little bit late. Once the ruck has formed, there are 2 players on their feet contesting. You can't put your hands on the ball, but this is great moments here by Austin, really showing what they can do. And that's what you can do when you have a scrum half who isn't really an actual scrum half. Shootout is exactly doing what you want him to do, which is be a runner with the ball in your hands, be a fullback, do things, and it came all the way from that penalty, and that came all the way from great defense by Austin. The one thing I would say is that Houston, there's space outside of the Austin defensive line. They're very narrow, but they're coming up very hard. Houston weren't able to get the ball outside of that defensive line. A little bit deeper, a little bit earlier with the pass. I think they might be able to get outside them.
I think you're right. That's why Vithi had to cut back in a couple of times, and Windsor Flaff was tackled. Malcolm, good throw from the Eagle. Silva, flat ball. They take it to the line. Rika Swart, the man who played with the Sharks in South Africa. That's 3 penalties, not rolling away. So untidy there from Houston. Puts Austin back here, and another kickable penalty, and seems to be pointing for the uprights, says Joda.
Yeah, I'm surprised the referee didn't have a word. Those were 3 tackle contest penalties in a row. 2 for hands in, basically, 1 for not rolling away. And so rolling away is what you always have to do when you're the tackler. It's the first thing that has to happen. The tackler must roll away. That allows the attacking side to be able to win the ball. They didn't roll away, and so another chance. And I think that what we're seeing here right now from Villaseca, he's taking his time. He said, we're into the wind. So what we want is what they call a short half, which means we want the ball in play for as short a time as possible, right? We want to do up our shoelaces, we want to have a drink, because that gives the team with the wind at their back less time to attack.
The outside centre lines this one up from just a little bit back from where he hit the first penalty. Andres Villaseca wasn't even in the 23 today, and now he finds himself lining up for potential second penalty. Big strong wind pulls it to that right hand side, so Sam Windsor collects this and he hoofs it downfield. Wonderful clearance kick Disappointment for Austin, of course. 3 points go begging.
Great decision there by Sam Windsor, because normally when you catch the ball inside after a missed kick for points, you put it down and make it a 22. But he said, no, we've got the wind at our backs. I'm going to come out, I'm going to kick it, and that wind is going to the left. So all he had to do was put it high down the left-hand side, let the ball drift out, and now Austin are back in their own half.
Sam Windsor, man of the match in 2 of the 3 victories this year. One of them over Austin last time. Swart at a standing start. Now Windsor comes in and makes the tackle as well. That Flav can do it all. Austin, keep alive with Judah, looping around. Intelligent play, and he runs into Beecham. Still going.
The scrum half picks and goes at the base, not always what you want.
Finally, the Walrus brings him down. Swart. Better momentum for his side. Silva, see if they can take the ball a bit wider. Villaseca, though, gets man and ball, and Vithi and Palamo come flying in. Austin, they get the penalty, but they're certainly under pressure, and the SaberCats had left their feet.
And I think finally the referee has said, okay, we're going to have a conversation. 4 penalties in a row, 4 times at the tackle contest. Not sure exactly what he called there, but I think he may have said on the counter ruck they lost the ball. So it's different things. There's hands in, there's not releasing, there's not rolling away, and here on the counter ruck, losing your feet. So you have to stay on your feet. So you can see under pressure, there's Vithi comes up, great tackle on Villaseca, holds on, and you can see it's threatened Palamo coming in, and he loses his feet when he comes over the top. And he was there with Garber, and so he can come through and he can ruck and he can counter ruck, but he can't lose his feet. He has to stay on his feet, and that's what the referee was calling.
Big threat in Palamo. Impact so far in this game. He scored 1 try today, 2 before this. Austin pick up some territory against the breeze and just short of the halfway line.
You can see again the impact of this wind. We saw it on the kick that Villaseca has. We can see the kick to touch. I mean, that ball was traveling back towards Austin by the time it hit the ground. It's tough to play in these sorts of conditions. So Austin so far will be actually pretty happy, even though they're 12-3 down into this win. They'll be okay so far.
Peter Malcolm, the man from Wheeling, Jesuit, who's out for 10 months with a knee injury, looking strong as Swart takes it to the line, and Suniula blasting onto this one. That's the best attack we've seen so far from Austin, the team manager and Eagle legend, as they take it over the advantage line with Josh Larson. 12 caps for Canada. Counter-ruck comes in, and again at the breakdown, and we could see some sort of movement towards the pocket of referee Rogan here.
And when the referee wants to talk to the team, it has to be a yellow card, because the only way you can stop them from being able to do that, and he said, hey, not rolling away, that's 5 penalties in a row. So the only reason you would prevent Judah from actually taking that tap penalty is if you were going to give a yellow card. And so Austin will feel really comfortable right now. I think now they're going to kick for touch and see if they can use that extra man opportunity to get a score.
Down to 14 players for 10 minutes. Should be almost the rest of this half.
It's a great kick by Villaseca, kept it really close. So you'll see great run there by Ben Mitchell, and you'll be able to see O'Toole not rolling away. He's just there on the ground. You can just see his cleats and but he wasn't number 2, wasn't able to get away quickly enough. And you know, the referee says it's your responsibility. And what a great run, targeting Sam Windsor. Great decision there. You can see again, number 2 doesn't make that effort to roll away. Number 2 in black, O'Toole, and I think a good call by Rogan.
Inside the 22, attacking Lineout, been lost though, so stolen. Esdale has a little space there, but double knock, so the first one coming in the way looks to have been had by Houston, so Austin will keep possession.
Yeah, and this game's becoming a little bit bitty. We had a couple of moments, great moments of attack by Houston. Austin showed they can do some things, but the big thing about having a scrum now is it means that they have to bring in the replacement hooker, who's Gouda, and that means that a player has to come out, and it looks like they're saying, hey, we're going to bring out one of our backs. So it looks like Mixel is coming out, and that means that there's a natural overload in the backs for Austin. So what they want to be able to do is get this ball out and attack the outside edge of that Austin defense where they're a player down.
So Dion Mixel leaves. On the bottom of your screen there, Risa Oneki, unmarked so far, but he's far from where the scrum takes place. Of course, that strong breeze as well. We see big Andrew Siniula standing close. 37 years young, one of the oldest players in Major League Rugby. Takes possession right now. Stabs it through. No chasers though. Vithi picks this one up. Ball in one hand. Just to a Vithi, like he's done on the Sevens World Series. Beaten 4 players. Vithi! The leap over the top. Pangilinan couldn't hold. And it sits up here for Ben Mitchell. Austin inside the 22. Ilan Patek to the bus. Siniula. There's some big bodies there. Vithi on Siniula. And again the captain surges forward. Austin desperate to get on the board next. A good line there from Peter Malcolm. Kicked over the top again. There's 2 kicks in a row. There's a deep in-goal area. Vithi is there. Possession wasted, you got to feel though, for the Austin Elite side. And Osio Kalenisa wants to go quickly. Yes, he taps it himself. Knocks it back to Amro Guda. They keep it alive. And here they go into open space. Great run there. Palamo in support. Beecham helps out. Ball is still there. Beautiful flick back in field. That was Matteo Sanguinetti, the prop forward, playing like a wing 3/4. Mullen. This is exciting stuff from the Houston SaberCats. And then pinched from the Austin Elite side. Back and forth. Judah to the right-hand side. Larson gets it away. Malcolm's pass been intercepted by Esdale. He keeps it alive. Great support again from Guda, known as the Big Cheese. He's been involved heavily since coming onto the field. Lovely dummy there from Sanguinetti, the 26-year-old. 59 caps for Uruguay. Kalenisau gets the ball to Mullen. Big Paul Mullen from Galway Island. As Beecham has numbers with him. Takes the 2 tacklers with him. Pangilinan gets a lovely pass away to Nieto in open space. The dummy again is outrageous! Alejandro Nieto gets a double! And he's fooled about every single person here, including our camera folks.
Wow, that's just when you dummy the camera, then you know that it's a really, really good dummy, and just some wonderful play. Houston are really showing that when they get on that front foot and they're able to generate fast ball, and you can see right there, this is what Pangilinan does. He has little bits of play that he has, which isn't the natural scrum half, able to throw that pass, and Nieto right there with a great dummy. And that really comes, I mean, remember that came all the way back from the 22 that they had. They lost the ball, the ball came back. They're really taking their opportunities when they make those breaks, turning those breaks into tries, which is really what's hurting Austin so far.
Alejandro Nieto quit his job back home in Uruguay, and he's come here to prepare for Rugby World Cup 2019 and get better in this game, and he's certainly showing that. Kick from in front is over. 19 points to 3, Houston lead.
Yeah, it's all the way back here. You can see under pressure, Vithi's ability to be able to make players miss. Ball in one hand, that is not how you coach it, Dallin. Able to get the ball out, able to make things happen, and you can see how difficult he is to tackle. You can't go high. You go high, you're going to run into that stiff arm. You go low, he's going to push you down, and I mean, it's just so difficult to know what to do. And there you can see Pangilinan right there being able to hold the ball and be able to do it.
Stunning try there from the big number 8. Back to live action. Restart taken by the try scorer himself. Windsor deep in the pocket. Goes downtown towards that breeze, and Silver is there, but not in the right position. He was just too short on that occasion. And it's Sam Windsor that marches his troops forward yet again. This player has been on the field more than any SaberCat this season. 1,031 minutes he's played. And Austin take a quick shot there. And he goes through. Judah gets it for the Elite. Needs something special here to close out the first half. Larson, nice little flick. Ilan Patek looking to get involved is the fullback. He grew up in Dallas, Texas. Originally from Hartswater in South Africa. He is Ilan Patek, Arkansas State, 2-time national champion. Now they go wide. Better stuff here from the Elite. Zarnecki. Remember, they have a player advantage. He's thrown a loose pass, so it's been picked up. And here they go again. Good offload. And Luke Beecham. Lineout at first, 5'8", and the Fen, here they go. Cecil Garber racing for the line, being chased all the way. Garber gets the goodies. And that's a bonus point try for the SaberCats.
Well, the SaberCats are really showing what they can do, but Austin are also being very, very loose with the ball. What they're doing is they're just taking the ball right here. Great tackle here by Windsor. No need to throw that ball up. Place that ball, and that is really causing some challenges for them to be able to get into their pattern. But once Houston are able to get the ball, you can see them moving that ball more than one pass. They're not hitting the player outside. They're moving the ball two passes. That's finding some holes in Austin. And again, a line break makes the try.
Wonderful line break, wonderful ball movement as well. And the 27-year-old from Virginia Beach gets it done for his side. 4 tries in the first half, an impressive feat so far.
Of course, 4 tries being a bonus point, right? So Houston are here. They don't want to be second. They want to be third. They're up against Utah. They don't have playoffs to play for, but they certainly have some bragging rights.
Home fans treated as well to some entertaining rugby. As Sam Windsor lines this one up. He knows he just pushes it, and he goes to the right-hand side in the end. 24 points to 3 so far as we wind down the clock here in the first half. Remember, Houston still with 14 players on the field.
And I think that it's this ability to be able to move the ball one player out. Andrew Siniolo, and I think that was Josh Lawson, weren't connected. A beautiful line by Garber and just able to get over the line. And one of the things we have here at this stadium is these beautiful deep try zones, which is kind of hard because you can see people, they're about to put the ball down and you think that they have to go further, but actually just a deep try zone. And now it's really tough for Austin to find their way back.
Pangilinan, after it's fielded there by Nieto. Windsor, big kick, but he get a penalty for offside play. The Elite players just carrying up too much.
Yeah, and I think that Houston will say, okay, let's get this. We'll take our time. Let's kick to touch. And there's a little bit of a tell for Houston. If they go with a full line out, they're much more likely to drive it. Their short line outs, they look to move the ball out wide, either to their forwards in the middle or wide. And I think that probably what we'll see is a full line out here and then the opportunity to drive. Not an easy kick here for Sam Windsor because the wind is actually into his face. And there you go. That's why it wasn't easy.
Well, not out. Houston scoring 12 points though, while players in the bin. Elan Paddock, big step, and then a massive shoulder comes in there from Luke Beecham. Austin with Peter Malcolm. This is better stuff from the 25-year-old. Ben Mitchell getting involved again. The stats man, top 5 in the league with 40 line-out takes, second in the league with dominant tackles. He can do it all, does the captain. They finally go wide. Suniula puts a chip over the top. This sits up in the breeze. Wonderful kick. Big collision. See what referee Rogan has to say about that. Just a penalty.
Well, I think that was a really, really good call when the ball was in the air. So when Andrew Suniolo kicked that, I'm like, what's he doing? But to be fair to him, he saw this space. The ball held it up. They were able to get there. When the ball is in the air and you're going to go up and challenge, you can't touch anyone else unless you're actually challenging for the ball. And I think the Houston player didn't really look like he was challenging for the ball. I think he gave up. And a good call. And here's a chance for Austin into the wind. If they could score a try, they could look at the second half and say, hey, we can use the territory for advantage.
Onto the field there is Pat O'Toole. Yellow card is now expired. Back to 15. Houston SaberCats. Comfortable lead so far in the first 38 minutes. Austin, what can they make of this? Knocked down there by Travis Larson. Slow ball. Gets Malcolm to the 22. Mitchell, the dummy runner. So Silva feeds it short. They've worked well to get to the right-hand side. There is space there to operate, but then they lose it. Skills letting them down as Pangilinan crawls on the ground for the SaberCats. Box kick from Windsor's a mammoth kick. It'll stay in the field of play, and Zinzanilan Padak will collect this. The 3-time collegiate All-American. Can't skip away from Beecham. Beecham's been hounding players left, right and center. Fighting for a ball on the ground, looking to turn this around for the SaberCats. He's done it. There's Pangilinan comes in. Basically another forward getting involved there. The strong frame of Pangilinan as Nieto takes it to the line again. It's all SaberCats. Was Vithi, the dummy, gets a missed ball there and finally lands with Dion Mikesell, though he's knocked on. And referee said, well, that'll do us for the first half. And it's 4 tries from the Houston SaberCats. That put them up 24 points to 3 over the Austin Elite. Time for a break, and we'll have a lot more coming out your way here from AVEVA Stadium. And it's the Houston SaberCats that are dominating here in their home fixture. We'll be back very soon. 24 points to 3.
Welcome back. We are here in Houston at halftime of Houston versus Austin. I am joined with director of the Houston SaberCats, Marty Powers, and Sterling High School head football coach, Canavis McGee. Welcome to both of you guys. Marty, we're here in this beautiful brand new AVEVA Stadium. It's over a $15 million project. It's only the second ever rugby specific stadium in the U.S. How pleased are you with the way this turned out?
I'm very pleased. It's 4 months overdue, but besides that, I'm very pleased. I think misery loves company, and everybody in the Southwest has had construction issues because of El Nino last year, so I've talked to 100 different construction companies. They've all had the same problem. So unfortunately, we're delayed, but it's a beautiful stadium. Christian Brothers done a great, Christensen Brothers done a great deal doing it, and we're just as happy as we can be. I mean, we're bringing the sport to Houston, and we're really excited. So.
It's Memorial Day weekend. Salute to service night. There's a lot of veterans in the crowd right now. How much of an honor is it to get to play on such a special weekend?
Oh, it's great. I mean, the services are here, the Coast Guard, the Army, the Navy, they're all here, and it's great. They, Memorial Day weekend's a special weekend for a lot of them, and we'll always be servicing the military.
Thank you so much, Marty. All right, Coach, you have a football background. You played in the NFL. You're now a high school football coach, but you've recently been working with the Houston SaberCats. What similarities have you found between the two sports?
Oh, wow, a lot. One of the main things we do in football is tackling. And we're fortunate these guys are in our community and willing to work with our kids. So they came over to the school and worked with our kids for a couple of days on proper technique and the way to be able to tackle. And our kids loved it. It was so interesting to find out the first question they asked is that they felt that the kids could tackle without a helmet. All our kids felt like they couldn't without getting injured. After these guys came and worked with them for a couple of days, all their minds was changed. So we're fortunate to have them in our community working with our kids.
I talked to a couple of your players, and they said they want to switch from playing offense to defense so they get to tackle more because they love it so much.
Yeah, it's amazing. A lot of times when you're teaching, it's really the verbiage you use, and those kids were able to catch on real quick and easy and loved it. I was surprised, especially kids that's never been exposed to this sport.
Besides the hardcore tackling and the techniques, what has the Houston SaberCats taught your team?
Well, really, it's about being safe, and it starts with that, especially when you're starting a game on this level. These guys were able to come in and show these guys how you can be able to attack with power and still be safe and come away from the game without being injured.
Well, I hope you guys are enjoying your first game here at AVEVA Stadium, your first rugby game.
Love it, and learning.
We'll be back with more after this here at AVEVA Stadium.
A little bit to the right.
Yeah, can you got me? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then that's totally off camera, and then we'll throw it a break. Okay, got it. So one. We've got about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, and you know what? We're only going to be on camera when I ask you about your thoughts on the first half. And then you can even talk a bit if you want about what's come up. Second half, when the screen comes up, I'll talk a bit about the standings, stuff like that. If you want to make a comment about that, because we have a bit of time, you can as well, you know what I mean? And the current standings, and then we throw it a break.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool. Okay, don't go too long. Okay, got it.
So no.
Yeah. Hey, Grant.
The combined operations manager, Brian Escamino. Next we have Shantae Myers. She is a 15-year U.S. Air Force veteran, serving both
It's the home side, the Houston SaberCats, that have been in punishing form here at AVEVA Stadium, scoring 4 tries. And this is one of them. Cecil Garber streaking through for a bonus point finish in the first 40 minutes. It's certainly been tough times for the Austin Elite side. And well, Pete, your thoughts on that first half? Of course, they couldn't get much going at Austin, but Houston, a lot to be proud of.
Well, I think the wind was a big factor. That allowed Houston to play in the right places, and then they took their opportunities. The question is, will Austin be able to use the wind as well as Houston?
Well, big 40 minutes coming up. We're going to take a look at some of the other matches, though, that are happening on Sunday. And, of course, there's some big ones indeed. All implications for a massive playoffs. New Orleans will travel to the Big Apple for a bruising battle. And then the Raptors and the Arrows face off, keeping their championship runs alive. It's do or die. Seattle need a win as they host Utah as well tomorrow at Starfire Stadium. Current standings, well, we're in a roller coaster finish with 2 weeks remaining. Only San Diego have secured their place so far in the postseason, which means any one of the other top 6 sides could punch their tickets. And of course, the 2 teams tonight fighting there at the bottom. A win here for Houston that will push them above Utah, which will be fantastic for their side. So, 40 minutes remain. Up next, stay with us from AVEVA Stadium. It's the Houston SaberCats that lead Austin Elite in this Texas rival, 24 points to 3. Yep, got it. Yep. Cool, okay. Got it. 102, yeah, so not 101 as
Hey Scott, number 22 for Houston is actually number 8. So he scored 2 tries and we had the wrong graphic.
Scott confirming it's 102, right? The WNBA. Cool. Coming up next, a brand new season of the WNBA tips off on CBS Sports Network as Chicago looks to prove that the sky is the limit for 2019 when they battle a fierce Minnesota Lynx squad right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Fans have come out aplenty here at AVEVA Stadium. This, of course, the official opening. 4,000 capacity, 3,200 seats available, and they really put on a clinic, have the home team. Houston SaberCats 4 tries to nothing over the Austin Elite so far.
And it's not just this stadium that's here. There's a whole complex. There's 2 beautiful rugby pitches behind us, Dallin. They had the Enscro All-Star Tournament that's playing this weekend. They were playing over there. This is going to be the home of the Houston SaberCats. It's not just where they play, but it's where they're going to train, and I think it's where they're going to be growing the game in Houston. So a beautiful facility and a place that I think all Major League Rugby fans will like to check the box and say that they've visited.
A couple of great scores so far in the first bit, and it's that Jameson Fa'ana Schultz that is wearing the number 8 jersey. A late change, nobody told us, and there he is. And nobody told the Austin defense as well, as he raced over for one of his 2 tries.
And it's all about their ability to play off turnovers that's been critical. And we can see right here, great movement, be able to move the ball, be able to win that ball quickly, and that's Pangilinan. And again, formerly to be known as Nieto, coming in for the score. He had 2 scores and a great game in that first half, so we want to give credit where credit is due.
If you're just joining us here, a warm welcome to you for our Major League Rugby Game of the Week. Only 2 weeks left in the regular season. And of course, tonight's team are playing here for pride on the line. We're 10 miles south of downtown Houston. Beautiful setting, strong breeze. And this is the Houston Sports Stadium here. I'm Dylan Stanford and with Pete Steinberg. And of course, we've both been so impressed by the stadium, the setup, and of course, the people and the city of Houston.
Yeah, I think this is, the 4th largest city in America. I think this is a place where Major League Rugby can thrive. I think the SaberCats are doing the right things. They've adopted West Houston, which was a Division II club, and they're looking to invest in there. In fact, Paul Emmerich, before he was promoted to the head coaching role here as the interim head coach, was working with West Houston. And I think it's really interesting to see these this new generation of former Eagles stepping into the coaching world and seeing professional coaching, whether it's in the college game or in the professional field, step forward. And obviously Paul Emmerich has made a big impact since taking over here at Houston.
That's right, Emmerich's played in Italy, Wales, Ireland, England. And in 2018, September, he was the skills coach. He's advanced to be the backs coach and now the interim head coach as the cheerleaders AVEVA Stadium. Now, this is only the 2nd rugby purpose-built facility in the country. The first being Infinity Park, home of the Glendale Raptors, also in this competition. And now Houston step up. Number 2, and right now, number 1 on the scoreboard. Sam Windsor has been instrumental this season. The fly-off in picture there. He's the 5th in Major League Rugby points scored before this game kicked off. And he's now edged his way past Sam Malcolm from the Toronto Arrows, who had 128 points. JP Eloff 129. And Brock Staller from the Seattle Seawolves leads the charge with 181 points. Second half about to go here at AVEVA Stadium. 24 points to 3. On the right of your screen, the home side, the Houston SaberCats kick off. And in blue and white, it's Austin that bombed this ball backfield. They finally have the wind back there, and Truvel in a good position as the captain to Kalenisau. Gold medalist in 2016 the Olympic Games. Couple of stutter steps. Goes straight into a blue wave. Zach Pangilinan wearing 9. You usually see him in the 15 role. It's done well so far. A couple of difficult passes, low down, but his ability to get the ball wide has been exceptional. As Beecham takes it to the contact, one of the standout players so far today. Windsor does put it to the air. This one drifts to Zarnecki. They do well to keep it alive, and strong carry there from Elon Patek to the halfway line. Austin, as Pedri Vandenberg, the forwards coach, said they want to keep ball in hand a bit more here in the second half. Alain Jardade, the head coach from France, looks on. There's Josh Larson takes it into contact. Sano Takezawa was the dummy runner. Suniula, oh, difficult short ball to take for Bailey. It's been intercepted. Esdale, the leap, the knockback, it's still okay. With the first infringement though coming against Austin.
So lots of play going on there, Dallin. That ball was in play for a long time. We can have some tired players, but really just timing not quite right there between Suniolo and Bailey. Bailey just a little bit early, and again Austin finding themselves where they're not quite able to generate that penetration that gives them the opportunities to play wide. And I think we're also seeing what Austin did do well is they defended really well. They made Sam Windsor kick, and that's their line speed has been excellent. And I think that they're really playing on Zach Gilinen's slow delivery from the base, and they're trying to get that line speed up, but again not able to hold on to the ball. A little disappointing.
Pangilinan, dual international, played soccer for Guam, played Eagle 7s and 15s. And while they reset the scrum here, Pangilinan being on that Eagle 7 squad, huge news for rugby in the United States. Olympic qualification was won today by the men's national side in the London Sevens, and that just means so much, doesn't it, for this country and the game, and of course still ranked number 1 in the series.
Well, I mean, we forget that 4 years ago we weren't in the top 4. We weren't even close to the top 4. We had to go and win a tournament, the North American tournament, to be able to qualify for the Olympics. So to qualify automatically is great, but like you said, the opportunity to actually win the series, I mean, already the US will go as medal contenders, but can they go as gold medal favorites to Tokyo?
Big things happening in the United States, and big things happening here in Texas as well. Low one to take there for Palamo. So Vilaseka cleans up for Austin. Looking to have a crack here. Suniula. Got a couple of brothers playing for the Seattle Seawolves as well. What a wonderful family they are on and off the field. Suniula still going strong at 37 years young. Austin put it through the hands. And Travis Larson into the contact. Short ball. Here they go yet again. Beautiful flick up over the halfway line. Peterson in there also, the 22-year-old. Space on the left-hand side for Mitchell. Turns it away. Dummy thrown. They go through the half gap. Fangawiha close quickly. Gets the ball back to Elan Patek. The best attack opportunity yet for the elite side, and they cough it up. You really have to feel for Austin. They've thrown the kitchen sink at this, and big defense stops them short.
Well, finally they were able to start doing some good things. They were able to get that go forward. You can see the pass isn't great, but there we go. I think that's Mitchell able to get over the ball, and that offload is great. We can see these teams all doing really good stuff, and the support is great. And Patek right here. Now, what you want to look at is the positioning of the ball. You see how he leads with the ball into the contact, into Klinisau, and that's why he moved it on. What we say is body before ball, protect the ball, move it to the other side. That's what led to the turnover. But a little bit of hope there from Austin, saying if we can play quick and we can hold on to the ball, we can play. And especially with the wind, Alan, it makes it very, very difficult, even with a good kicker like Sam Windsor, for Houston to be able to clear their lines and get out of their half.
Well, Houston just boasting the experience of Klinisau and 9 capped international players in their starting 15 from Uruguay, Fiji, and the United States. And in this squad, they've got players from Ireland, Scotland, England, Germany, Australia, and New Zealand as well. The scrum sets down, and just the cultural challenges that take place sometimes in a squad, and I think Austin are suffering from that as well. They've got a lot of players from different nationalities, but they don't seem to have gelled so well this season.
Well, I mean, I think one of the challenges they have is they've had some visa issues, so some of their players have come in, but most importantly, they haven't had consistent 9s and 10s. I was talking to Rodrigo Silva before, as we said, and he's a 15. Judar is also a 15. They've really struggled to be able to have that consistency, and the same has been true for Houston without Arada, Santiago Arada from Uruguay. He is such a strong player, and when he plays, Houston looks like a different side. And so what we're seeing here is teams at the end of the season struggling to make sure that they've got quality in their squads, but it's certainly turning into a wide open game that we're having today.
Scrum resets yet again. It's been an issue all day long. Early engaged, so Jodo will tap and go for his side. Austin take it to the line. Travis Larson. Short ball there for Ben Mitchell, the tall Tumba. Former head linesman at a local club, now professional rugby player. Well inside the 22, the best attacking opportunity of the game. They peel it back. And Rodrigo Silva gets hit hard and high.
Well, I think they were a little bit lucky there because they weren't quite sure what to do. They had a little play where they got the ball to Malcolm and Malcolm passed it back to Silva, but that didn't fool anyone. And great pressure there by Threat and Paloma. But what we're seeing is the confidence that you get when you have the wind at your back, where you don't have to worry about turning the ball over, and they're playing very quickly, and Travis Larson takes it, and once they get on their front foot and they get support, they're able to do really good things. And then just a little bit high, it was Klinisau coming in. I think that's a pretty good call by the referee.
Austin kick for the touchline. 5 meters out, tackling lineouts. Their best games before this were against the Toronto Arrows. They lost 23-19, and Nola Gold 35-31. Right now, they see what they can do with this. Driving for the line. Looked like on the field was Mohammed Abdel Monam, just called Mo for short, the 26-year-old, wearing 21. We'll get a check soon. They keep it tight. Yeah, there he is. Mo looking to drive his teammate over. Try awarded. First score for the Austin Elite. They keep it tight with their forwards, and they're awarded with 5 points.
Halftime, Dallin, we talked about, can Austin use the wind and play the territory that Houston did in the first half? And early on in the game, they were able to do that. And I think that's Lerone White that was able to come over. So some fresh legs early on in the second half in the bench. They weren't able to do it with the line-out, but look at this drive. If you stay on your feet in rugby, you can keep the ball going forward, and then all you need to do is get downward pressure. And you can see White able to just keep his feet with Abdul Monem supporting him, getting over. Now it's a whole new ball game with the wind at their back. There's huge pressure at Austin. For Houston to be able to start really taking advantage of any opportunities they have, because they're going to have to run it out from their half.
Well, Lerone White, who won the first Major League Rugby Championship with Seattle, and now he's here. Went to South Africa as well to attend the Sharks Academy. First try for Austin on the board, minute 48. Andres Viliseka with the left boot of his. And he won't be able to put them to double digits, but they're on the board, 24-8.
Yeah, lots of difficulty for the kickers here, because it's so difficult to be able to read the wind, and just great drive, being able to get over, and most importantly, being low enough that you can get the ball down. This is going to be a really important 5 or 6 minutes here for Houston. They're going to really have to demonstrate that they're able to play into this wind with the ball in hand.
This one sits up and the wind comes down, and Travis Lawson has to field it. Leads Austin in running meters before this game with 795. And here they go with Mo. James Bay Athletic Association, former bartender. He does well. Silva puts it to the air. The Walrus is back there. Can't handle this one. Comes down to Monsieur Kalenisau. Beautiful ball then. Mike Sal. Stutter steps, bumps one. Still going strong. Mo tackles him well. Good rucking there from Sanguinetti. Kalenisau with the Walrus again. Truval, the captain, keeps it alive. Osia, Kalenisau, Pangilinan. Swamped up there by 2 players, but they can come back for the penalty for offside.
Well, that all came from the great play by Kalenisau, and Mike Saul will be able to work together to be able to create that break. You can see right here, and look at the line that Mike Saul has, comes right through that change of line. So while the ball carrier is drifting wide, having the player straighten up, and then that really puts them, that's what Houston are able to do. And poor kick chase by Austin to be able to hold them down. Didn't make touch there, I think. That's why I was hesitating there. So didn't make touch on the kick for Sam Windsor and a kick back, but still good attacking position here for Houston. So interesting kick by Silva. He decided not to go deep, and so all the Houston players were back deep, and it went short. Kalenisau was able to take it, and you'll be able to see Mike Sell right here as he goes, and look at that line he has, just able to come in, a little bit of a disconnect, was able to go right through it.
O'Toole throws it to the top. Fainana Schultz wearing 8. Has it at the back. Pangilinan looking to find Windsor. Short ball to threaten Palamo. Mo has him again. Windsor looking to go wide this time. Vithi jumps back in. Joshua Vithi. Very well to contain the live wire. Fiji National University product to give away a penalty.
Let's get that one. Well, that's Abdel Monem. This guy he leads the league on turnovers at breakdown with 8, even though he only joined the team halfway through. He is phenomenal. He is at every single breakdown, and really an amazing, amazing flanker at the breakdown.
Malachi Esdale takes this one, chips it up for himself. It sits up for the Austin, and Don Bailey has it. Bailey over halfway line. There's an injured player in back play there for the Austin Elite side.
Well, lots of stuff going on. You can't take your eyes off the pitch. Something happened. So Silva on the kick. So as we said, the kick is going down. They are behind the back of Austin, so it's going down the field, but it's also going from right to left. So Silva tried to kick it to touch, tried to go quickly. The ball ended up drifting back in because the wind is slightly going across, and then everything's all over the place.
There's Paul Emmerich, known as the Cactus. He's very prickly on the field. He's done well off it as well. Sterling to see, as you said, former internationals, now head coaching here in Major League Rugby.
And I was talking with Paul before the game, and one of the things that you know when you know Paul is he's always smiling. He enjoys the game. He loves to play, and it's one of those things that he said he really wanted to get this Houston team in his time as the interim head coach to really start enjoying the game. And talking to a couple of the Houston players, that's basically what they said. They said, hey, we want to enjoy the game, we want to play with a smile on the face, and I think that's making a big impact.
Coming up next, a brand new season of the WNBA tips off on CBS Sports Network as Chicago looks to prove that the sky is the limit for 2019 when they battle a fierce Minnesota Lynx squad right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And back to the live action, ball kicked downfield, and it will stay with the Houston side. They're up 24 points to 9 and now in another favorable position.
And I think now it's Houston's turn to say, hey, we're going to slow it down. We're not going to go too fast. We want to protect this lead. But one of the things that is true is that when you attack into the wind, it's easier because the ball comes back to you. So we should see Austin kicking more, but Houston able to move the ball wide and play with the ball in their hands more.
Pat O'Toole, top 20 in the league for tackles made, over 150 before this game started. But dominant tackles is where he leads, 22, equals Ben Mitchell from Austin. Good take there from Beecham, the 26-year-old. Qualified Carpenter. Maul is set. Now, they've got a breakaway here, O'Toole. Still they keep it alive, Diego Magno.
Let's go, Cats!
Last test was at Starfire Sports Stadium as Austin Elite kicked this over the top.
So that's what Houston can't do. What they can't do is they can't turn that ball over in those positions. I think they're actually pretty lucky that that kick didn't go further. They have to be able to hold on to the ball. So Houston, when they have that full line out, they're going to probably look to drive. Austin did a great job of disrupting that drive. You can see their forwards are now coming out into the back line, and I think that we're going to see them maybe play a little bit quicker and play the ball a little bit wider.
Attention there for Mason Peterson again. He's forced to leave the field. So Austin will go to their bench, and Juan Echeverria, 45 caps for Uruguay, 27-year-old, will come on, and he gets a high five from his friend.
And he is a very different kind of prop. He's 5'9", so you're up against a guy that was 6'1", and then you come up against this guy that's 5'9", and he's able to use that to be able to get underneath the opposition prop.
Stolen there, Pangilinan fires it away. Flat ball again for the inside center. Threatened Palamo. Windsor yet again flings it out to Vithi, though the defenders come up flying, so he's got to cut back in. Vithi finally smashed down to the ground. The Walrus. Dummy. Great stuff from the academy coach. He's a big proponent of helping the community through the sport of rugby. Pangilinan, they don't fall for the dummy. He's hit hard there by Sione Whangawea. Standing start there, so they knock it on. Flicked it over the top to Silva. Space here for the Austin Elite. They go on the outside. Garber with a good tackle. Toole is there to help out as well. Trying to force the turnover.
So it looks like they actually lost the ball in that breakdown, and we're going to come back. And Austin's defense has done a really good job. What they've realized is that the service from the scrum half is just a little bit slow, and so this line speed that they're doing, they're really able to come up in their face. A great hit right here on Pangilinan by Bangalua. And then as the ball comes out, you can see the line speed that they have up. That just puts a little bit of pressure, and then that's what is able to create the turnover. And they're really doing a good job. They really have, since about 30 minutes in, really making it very, very hard for Houston to be able to break them down. And the best attacking position on the field, scrum, midfield, right, lots of options. All they need is a strong scrum. Echeverria is really going to earn his money in this first scrum that he has as a sub.
The only team to score in the second half here are Austin. They got their try through Lerome White, the collegiate All-American from Kentucky. So they're going to reset here as they take a look at the front rowers. Such an important part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, and as I said, Sanguinetti has to look very differently about what's going on. He's got to really work out where his bind goes. There's a lot of technical stuff that goes on in those first few scrums, and Austin have two brand new props, and in this weather, Dallin, in this time of the season, having quality props that can come off the bench is going to be critical.
Very humid out there. The index was near 100. Of course, these players, no shelter from the sun as well. Bit more stable initially. And enough for Austin to get it out the back there. Joda, quick ball to Ilan Padek. Stutter step, does well. Austin Elite drive it forward. In there as well is Aidan McMullen, known as McMuffin. They've turned it over though, and here ranging away, it's the SaberCats! Isdale all the way! And that's what they'll do to you. Houston SaberCats at home for try number 5.
Well, they've really lived off the turnovers, and they did it again. From the very start, Austin have really struggled at the tackle contest, being able to move that ball quickly. I think we'll find that Judag again gets to the breakdown too early. He ends up being a rucker and not the scrum half, so when the ball's available, they can't play it. So the ball's there. You can see it's not actually Judag that's there, it's McMullen. There wasn't any scrum half. That allows Esdale to come through and be able to win the ball. So you can see Judat's being rucked out of the way because he was there too early, and then just pace. You just can't beat pace. Ilan Padek just not fast enough. Great play there by Edsel, but really comes from that work at the breakdown to create that turnover. And
Esdale made the tackle as well. The 24-year-old celebrated a couple of weeks ago, got up, raced the distance. Malachi Esdale, wonderful try, man from Delaware. He was second in Houston in meters made with 655. Well, they'll push him through on the stats, that's for sure.
When I was talking to Sam Windsor before the game, he was kicking from here, and he said, no tries in the left corner because the wind makes it so difficult from here. Let's see what he can do.
Well, we should score on the left-hand corner. Oh, no! Spoke too soon. Off the crossbar. Well, normally that's worth $10,000 if you can hit the crossbar. And we're going to take a short break, and it's 29 points to 8, and there have been some stunning tries, and this is the last one here from the home side, the Houston SaberCats. They have 5, Austin have 1, and the score is 29 points to 8.
It's 531 1874. If that's your number, go to the 50-50 now and collect your prize. All right, SaberCat fans, one more time. Let's hear you roar. We could do better than that, folks. SaberCats are winning. On 3, let's hear your SaberCat roar. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back. I'm joined with Houston SaberCats interim head coach Paul Emmerich. Coach, the first half your offense came alive, particularly Jamison Schultz, the 8th man, who was a last-minute fill-in, and he has 2 tries already. What's been working so well for him?
Well, you know, he comes from a pedigree-rich rugby nation out in Australia. He's American qualified, and he's been a great asset to have here. So, you know, creating the opportunities for him to do his thing.
Only 20 minutes away from what would be the first win at AVEVA Stadium. What are you vocalizing to your team to focus on as they try to finish?
You know, I just keep focusing on family, working hard for each other, and doing the basic things well. And I think we've left some points on the table as well here, but it'll be a good last quarter.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
You heard the words there of Paul Emmerich as his side look to attack again. Oh, that's not the best pass, and Mo knocks it back. Now diving over this one is replacement Chris Saint for the SaberCats.
So I had the opportunity to coach both of the scrum halves for Houston. So Zach I coached when he played at on-back, and Chris when he was at Penn State. And Chris is a great scrum half. He's one of those guys that had been around the Eagle pool, had been an All-American, played at Gonzaga in Washington D.C. with a great rugby pedigree. It's great to see him back out. I was talking to him because he's now this high-powered finance professional. I'm like, so how do you do it? And he said, well, I'm the head of the office in Dallas. So it's okay if I take a couple of days off, come out here Thursday, get ready for the game. So it's great to see him on the field.
Such a busy bee on the field there as well as Charlie Connolly, the 21-year-old from Dublin, Ireland, takes the field for the SaberCats. Now, you said you were his coach. Now, he was playing fullback or scrum half then?
Zach?
Yeah, Zach.
Oh, Zach. No, he was playing fullback.
Yes.
A little bit of 10, actually. I mean, he's I think Paul Emmerich called him a Swiss Army knife. The guy has all the skills, just really phenomenal, so he could play anywhere. So he played primarily fullback at on-back, but he did play a little bit of fly half while I was there.
So scrum finally gets reset, approaching the 60-minute mark in this game.
Really important opportunity. Austin have to score when they're down here to be able to get this close enough to feel like they can win it.
Well, during the exhibition matches, Austin did beat the Houston side 14 points to 10, but of course that's when, before all the players arrived. Joda has a crack himself, good space, wonderful ball. Villaseca, in fact, no, having his hand up was McMuffin. Aidan McMullen, just lurking on that right-hand side. The 22-year-old from Montreal, Canada, gets held up here as players pile in. One of them is Garber.
I'm just shaking my head down because they did everything right. Echeverria's really come in and he solidified that tight head. So that got the wheels. Dudat makes a great decision right here, but just doesn't quite go. If you remember, I said at the wind at your back, it's easier to kick, but it's harder to pass because the ball drifts away from you. And I think that pass drifted away from McMullen, and then he couldn't get to ground. So if in rugby, if you're tackled but you're held up, then it's a maul. And if you can't make that ball available while the referee is asking you to do it, the ball gets turned over and it's an opposition scrum.
Fantastic defense there from the SaberCats. And Chris Staint, USA Select 15, 29-year-old, will feed this one. And the forward pack, another penalty. Of course, their coach, Darren Morris. He's been heavily involved, recently appointed. And there he is there, the British Lion. And Welsh international, 18 caps at prop from 1998 to 2004. He was a scrum coach for Russia in 2011 when Paul Emmerich was on the field representing the United States. Then they beat Russia in that game. So Emmerich's got him back in the mix, and it's amazing what the friendship can do, you know, in the sport of rugby as well.
That's right, that's right. I mean, it's a global community. I always like to say that in rugby, if you're a rugby player, no matter where you go in the world, if you turn up at a rugby club, they'll ask you two questions. They'll say, do you have a place to stay tonight? And do you want to play this weekend? And it's just that great global community that keeps us together.
So throwing in here, Amro Gowda, the man from New York City, into Providence High School, goes over the top. Ball's been intercepted there. Good carry from Tian Erasmus, known as the bone collector, the primary school teacher for Austin. And Mo takes it to the line. Wonderful play here. I'd like to see more of him. Potentially starting as Villaseca loses that, and it's claimed by the Walrus, Matt Truville, originally from Sydney, Australia. 5 caps for the US. A no-look pass in from Palamo. Beautiful space on that far side. And the chase is here. Ball just goes to the corner, but Dion Mikesell just putting on the wheels.
Well, I think everyone from Houston will be very, very happy with that, because they'll just say, hey, we're going to play down, and we're going to... Are they going to go? I think the referee is saying no. So the law for the line out, it's one of those opportunities if you know how to use it. You can actually throw the ball in if you're quick behind where the ball went out. And I think that's what Ilan Paddock was trying to do, but I think it was a bit of a hospital pass as Vithi was coming up to make that hit. But I was saying that Mikesell's kick was perfect. Houston are just going to say, let's just stay down their end. Let's make them work to get out of there. He kicked it all the way down, and now Austin have to go 90 meters to score. And time is ticking for Austin. They really need to make sure they get that next score to be able to lift their hopes and to give them the chance. And Dallin, in weather like this, when you get tired and the ball actually gets slippy, then territory becomes really, really important because it ends up being really dropped balls and opportunities on turnovers, and that's why the kick was so good.
Houston have been excellent tactically in this game. They have some replacements, and their captain leaves the field, Matt Truble, the walrus. He has done superbly yet again. He goes to the side. His hobby collects grocery carts from grocery stores, so he'll be onto that right away as this kick goes into touch. If you want to find out more about the Houston SaberCats, go to HoustonSaberCats.com or AustinEliteRugby.com to find out more about your two franchises in Texas.
Well, a poor kick there by Judah, because all he had to do was get distance and use the wind. And actually, on that kick, and this is where the box kick is so important. So the box kick is the kick the scrum half makes under pressure. All he managed to do was to get it straight out. And it's now Houston, who I think where they have their full line out, they're going to catch this ball and they're going to try and drive it in. And if they drive it in and score, it's now going to be a long 15 minutes for Austin.
Don Bailey leaves the field, replaced by Dylan Pedersen, the 24-year-old from Kempton Park in South Africa. He went to King Edward School, the same as the famous Brian Habana. Maul down for the SaberCats. They need to peel this away from Saint. Attacks the line. And Mike Sell does well to the winger. Drives his feet. Brought down there from Big Mo. SaberCats looking to get their forwards involved. Sanguinetti loops around. Carry from the lock. Played in the 2019 America's Rugby Championship. Diego Magno, the dog lover, takes it up a few extra meters. Houston in search for try number 6. They pick and drive, working right in front of the poles. Big tackle coming in there on Gouda. And now goes to Windsor with the backs. VT can't break through. Just short. Saint is there quickly. Beecham's with him. SaberCats chant reverberates through the stadium. Still in the field of play. Great skill. But they look to punch it in. Still short. And it's Big Mo again with another tackle. He's been everywhere since coming on the last few minutes. That one's been spilt both directions, but first coming from the home team.
And Austin have shown in these moments how well they can defend. That was a really wonderful defensive stand coming all the way from that line out. They defended them on the line out effectively. They defended the strike by Mike Saul. And then when it got really close, they were able to put so much pressure that they just weren't able to hold on to the ball. And I think that was Magno that wasn't able to handle, wasn't expecting the pass. And here we have a really, really important scrum. So the way the scrums have been going for Austin, Echeverry on the right-hand side of their scrum at tight head has been really strong. I think what we might see is a wheel where the right side goes up and the left side goes back, and there might be an opportunity for Judah to jump down this blind side as the wing drops back for the kick.
Replacement Robert Meeson, known as Record Rob, the 32-year-old from Sebastopol, California, is on the field for the SaberCats, who are in 20. He's involved at scrum time now. Austin Elite, where their home field in Round Rock. Well, they just collapsed this yet again.
Yeah, I mean, again, new props come in, and so things get worked out again. I think Luke Rogan's done a pretty good job, but if you remember down at the start of the game, the first 3 scrums all ended up with penalties, and you sort that out as the referee, and then you get a whole new group of front rows that come in, and you've got to talk to them again as the game goes on. But I think there's a lot going on here, because I think Austin know this is a really big scrum. Scrums that are within 5 meters of the line are always the big scrum. Houston know that they might be able to make something happen with a bit of pressure, so both sides might be trying to press the edge a little bit.
They're finally looking to get set here. Meanwhile, the home side, well, they've got another home game against the Glendale Raptors in a few days' time, Wednesday, the 29th of May, and then June 1st, they take on the Utah Warriors at Zions Bank Stadium away. So 3 different, then they get a penalty. And that stability forces Austin to pull it down.
So you can see Lerone White saying, hey, come on, how was that me? but that's what he was called. And if I'm Houston, maybe I choose another scrum. You get the choice. They could choose for the kick, they could for points, they could kick to touch, they could tap it, but they're going to say, you know what, let's really, really set a mark and let's choose this scrum. So I think it's on the other side, and you might be able to see them just come down. You can just see there, yeah, you can see the arm of Lerone White come down and hit the ground. You can't lose the bind like that, and that's why the referee called it.
We've seen this before from the SaberCats, and in fact earned them a yellow card and a penalty try a few matches ago against the Glendale Raptors. Such a powerhouse up front.
Well, Paul Mullen is no longer at tight head, so the Eagle tight head, he's been injured this year, so he's just working his way back. So it's a great chance for Charles Connolly, one of a number of players from the Houston that played for Trinity College in Dublin, where Tony Smead, the former US U19 coaches.
Looking for a push over here. They lose possession though. It comes to Austin's side. Then the ball's trapped at the bottom. Finally available. Long way to go here for the Elite. Silva drops into the pocket. It's untidy stuff there for Joda. Man won a French championship with Clermont-Avignon. As Silva's kick comes straight down to Esdale. And he puts this one down.
Yeah, I mean, disappointing. Great kick for Silva to be able to get that away, but he was never going to get it to touch. And I think Edsel said, I have all this space in front of me. What was I going to do? So you'll be able to see it's actually kicked forward by the hooker for Houston, it looked like, and that's why they lost the ball in that scrum, even though they were going forward. And this is a wonderful kick under pressure. Gouda there applying pressure. Silva got away, and just a disappointing drop by Edsel.
Well, you mentioned when you got a bit too much time, you tend to relax, look around a bit. But Esdale has done well in this game. Played with the Naples Bears in 2012 and Orlando Griffins. 3 younger brothers cheering him on as well.
And he played football at Miami in Central Florida, so he's one of those guys that has the athleticism to really be a great player, and we saw that on the try, but some of those technical things like catching the high ball obviously needs a bit more work.
So Sam Windsor there just getting some cooling off on the side. Stunning game from him yet again. He always has his hand in the Houston victories. Another solid one tonight so far. 10 minutes to go in this clash. 29 points to 8. Austin, see if they can get back on the board here. Looking to try cut back in. Big tackle there on McMuffin, as he's known. Now Larson takes it to the line. Josh Larson played it in Otago and Northland in New Zealand. Wide ball there for Villaseca, rides the tackle well. All over that is Fana Shields. And Silva, nice little switch. Austin certainly trying to up the tempo here. Ball's loose though, Schultz knocks it back to his team. Houston turn this around. Victor Comtat on the field as well, played his rugby in Toulon. Lived in France for many years, although he was born in Los Angeles. He takes possession now. Pick and drive up the middle, SaberCats. It's slow poison from them. See the penalty though at the breakdown. Holding on is the call.
I mean, I think that's Houston really taking control. They have another game on Wednesday. It's very hot. They want to slow this down. You can see they brought off Sam Windsor. I mean, I think that's only the second time all season he's been brought out. But here they get a chance to take it back.
I'll see what Kalenasau.
Let's hear you yell.
Jips across field. Offers the switch and been knocked on in a big brave tackle. Austin Elite with a chance now. Looking to spin it away there. And Alex Faison Donahoe on the field, wearing 22. Joda goes in to collect. Silva, bit of space for Silva to operate. Can't get the ball away. He's well tackled by Gouda. There's Villaseca. Breaks around the fringes. Abdel Monem on him as well. Now Breitenbach. Quick ball off there to the try scorer Lerone White. Jauda threatening. Gets the ball away though, it's been intercepted. Good skill from Malachi Esdale to capture that for his team, and Saint puts this one up high. No one's chasing. Oh, beautiful dummy throw in there from McMullen. Still alive for Austin. Their captain, Mitchell. 6'7", 250 pounds. Going strong in 2019. Silva, a wall of black jersey, so he has to cut back in again. He coughs it up this time. Saint, good pick up and, well, hops over players there, does Esdale. You've seen Beaky do it earlier in the game, so he has a crack.
Well, he's showing his athleticism there, but now the game's breaking down a little bit. You can see all of the turnovers. Rodrigo Silva is just trying to do something, but like we said before, you've got to protect the ball away from that contact. Actually, nice pass there by Saint, and watch Esdale just trying to get over the top, thinking that he's going to do something. And bodies just strewn around with 5 minutes to go. It's been so hot, it's been so humid. This is just, you know, it's going to be the last man standing as they go. And so this has really been about opportunities on the turnover, as Houston have really been able to take the ball, being able to do great stuff. They've run wonderful support lines. Palermo had some amazing tries in the first half, but really it's all come from their ability to turn those breaks into tries. Everyone's running good lines. Everyone's able to support. Those support creates opportunities for things like dummies. And they've had these moments where they've really looked like the Houston that we thought we were going to see coming into the season. And it's just been one of those little bits of just disappointment that you don't see enough of this as they go through. And so in the first half, they scored 4 tries and they played some of the best rugby of the season. I think you can see the impact of Paul Emmerich. When I spoke to him earlier, Dallin, he talks a little bit about there's not much he can do, but he's made some slight changes on attack, tried to get more playmakers, and I think play a little bit wider and let their backs create a little bit more opportunities. And then in the second half, at the start, Austin really came back and really played some great stuff, but just really struggled to hold on to the ball in the breakdown. And every time they had an opportunity, they would turn it over. And this one ends up with Edsel really being able to show what he can do with his athleticism. And those are the 5 tries. And if we'd seen more of this from Houston earlier on in the season, they might be in a different spot than they are right now.
Esdale certainly impressive, but also the number 8, Jamison Fa'anana Schiltz, the 22-year-old from Australia. As a youngster, he represented Samoa in the under-20 ranks, and he really has proved his weight in gold here.
Well, I think that Fa'anana Schultz and Threaten Palermo have really shown that they can break holes into the defense, right? These are guys that have really been able to force their way through the defense and created the opportunities for tries.
All right, into the last 7 minutes of this clash, week 18. Houston looking to go 2-0 against their rivals Austin. Ball at the back there for Schultz. And they're going to reset this, and Houston will maintain.
So new law, relatively new law this year. It used to be that if you scrum the ball 90 degrees, if you push the scrum 90 degrees, it was a turnover. But now, instead of it being a turnover, it ends up being a reset. And so a little bit surprising there on that drive. So I think Houston were a little bit found out. I think Charles Connolly probably is not going to let that happen again.
Saint looking to reset there. Good experience for these youngsters. They get a short arm penalty.
So again, haven't quite worked it out, but I think so they can't kick this one to touch, so they're going to have to tap it and run it.
Here they go. Another bruising, busting run there from Schultz.
Schultz on the run.
Battering ram. A few extra meters. Oh, intercept. Here they go. Villaseca is onto this one. Andres Villaseca gets a personal highlight and try number 2 for Austin Elite.
So I think he's been a great player for Austin in this game. He's been their major kicker. He's had some great defense, and whenever he's had the ball in his hands, he's been able to create something, but he just read that very, very well. Houston just a little bit too predictable, so the ball was able to come wide. And of course, Sam Windsor's out, and so we actually have Kieran Farmer in at fly half now for Houston, who you can see right there is really just disappointed. Young 20-year-old. made the jump from high school to professional rugby, was playing locally, actually picked up the game in Azerbaijan, but moved to Texas in high school, was spotted here, and was offered a contract in 2017. So he's one of those guys that Houston is developing straight from high school, brought them into the fold, and great to see him on the field. And not the start he wants, but he'll be learning a lot from Sam Windsor.
No, plenty more rugby left as well with the youngster. This kick, it's the 10 meters. Yes, they said it is. Great take, and off they go. Robert Meeson, Wreck-It Rob, does well for the Houston SaberCats. 29-15 the score now, into the last 4 minutes. Turnbull on the field, he gets missed there. It comes to Comtat. Garber involved as Esdale takes it in as well. Mitchell flies up, he's definitely offsides. So Kalenisau taps and goes. Elite, do they go back 10? Wonderful pickup at that bootstraps as he got hammered. Kieran Farmer does well there. They still keep it alive. Connolly floats it over the top. Schultz is there. 2 players on him. Kalenisau through in ruck time. Osea Kalenisau, ball is loose. They're going to come back for the regional penalty. Referee Luke Rogan. And that wasn't on the mark.
Not even close. Not even close to the mark. So when there's a penalty, you have to go to the point that the referee says the mark. The mark is where the penalty happened. The referee has not set the penalty yet. And honestly, if I'm Paul Emmerich and I'm like, hey, we've got 2 minutes to go. We have another game in 3 days. Let's not be tapping this quickly. Let's either choose a scrum or let's kick it to touch, and let's have this be the last play. And then Kalenisau is the one that actually, as one of the leaders of the team, is trying to speed up the game. You can see him right there. And then there's the tap. And as much as Gouda wants to live the life of the scrum half and the long break as a hooker, the referee said, nuh-uh, bring it back to the mark.
Well, they've got 8 substitutes on the field now, so everybody really getting used. And of course, it's the excitement being on the field here at AVEVA Stadium. 29-15 they lead. Last passage of play coming up. Under 2 to go. Chris Saint, the 29-year-old, drops back. Schultz picks up and goes himself. The hat trick. Gets the pass away. And of course, 2 players that have stood out today. Threaten Palamo underneath as well. Well, it's celebration times here for the Cats.
Well, both of those players had already scored 2 tries, and the question was who was going to score the hat trick. And it all comes from the strong scrum. And you can see Chris Saint, he steps back, he says, I'm not going to be picking that up. And you can see Schultz gets it, looks up, says, hey, where's the flanker? Abdul Monem is late, but great support there by Palermo, able to get over the line. And you can see Silva right there saying, hey, where's my flanker? Why am I tackling that number 8? And a well-deserved finish, I think, for Houston as they finish up this game at their stadium. It's a good crowd here. I know that they're going to want more, but there's you see a lot of kids around here and a lot of people enjoying their rugby.
Try number 6 for the SaberCats. Ball falls off the tee, and that's how strong the wind is. And the Eagle, 3 World Cups already. Threaten Palamo played in the 7th World Series. Gets a double tonight. Kalenisau smashes this one through the uprights.
The conversion is good.
56 points to 15 is the final score.
Well, I mean, I think that was a well-deserved win by Houston. I think that they've set up AVEVA very well. I think Paul Emmerich's going to walk away from this never quite never happy with what's going on, but you can see that he left some things on the table, but I think they'll be happy with the win.
6 tries to 1, fantastic stuff.
So I thought that one of the things that we said was going to be really important for Houston was how they played with their attack, and you could see they've become a little bit more dynamic. You can see Vithi more involved, Kalenisau more involved, Palamo. We're seeing their backs where before they were really looking for their forwards, and I thought that their backs really made a difference in the game.
We're going to take a short break and come back with more here from AVEVA Stadium. It's the Houston SaberCats victorious at home, 36-15 of the Austin Elite. Yes, I got you. Yep. Yep. Okay. With the man of the match. Okay, cool. Yep. I need to go into the room to get 102. Okay. Okay. Okay, can you? It's 102. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I've got 103. I've got 103 ready. Thanks, bud. No worries. Okay, I've got 102 and 103. Okay, after Austin's done, then I'd read 102 and then 103. Is that correct? Yep. Got it. Cool, got it. And then after 102, what do you want me to do? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so I say the okay, yeah, got it.
Am I eye candy?
Actually,
What are we going to do?
Yeah, I think you are. Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. We just
That's the most qualified for that, honestly.
It's win number 4 for the Houston SaberCats. They win tonight 36-15 against the Austin Elite in the Texas Derby. We're going to go now to hear from our player of the match, who's pitch side with Austin Ivan.
I am with the man of the match, Jameson Schultz. You found out an hour before the game that you were starting at the 8th man position. You come in and scored 2 tries. How were you able to take advantage of Austin's defense?
We knew coming into the game that it was, we all had the capability and skill to beat any team on the field, but it all came down just to our mentality at the end of the day. And we had a good win last week against NOLA, and that's sort of building our mentality this week going forward. Our team's finally gelling together, and today I thought we showed that a lot.
Under interim head coach Paul Emmerich, you guys have won 2 of your 3 games. What changes has he implemented that's made such an immediate impact?
Besides a few tweaks to our game plan, it just all comes down to finally everyone's trusting one another. Everyone's, we're playing for each other. We've had a tough season this year, not just on the field, but with changes in our management and so on. And that's all comes down just to how we react with our minds and our mindset going onto the field.
What is your team's mindset as you have 3 games in 8 days?
Just trust the process, trust one another, and then we got this.
Your first win in AVEVA Stadium, how nice does it feel?
It's finally beautiful to finally play on this field without any of the turf pulling up. So, it's a wonderful field, one of the best in the USA. So, we're really thankful for it finally be available to us,
The season's coming to an end quickly, but how important is it to keep the momentum going to head into next season?
It's all up from here. We've started from the bottom, the very bottom, and now there's no going back from where we are now. We got 3 games in 8 days, and that will really show how we're going to start off next year. So I'm looking forward to the next few weeks.
Good win today. Congrats.
Thank you, Austin. Hey, guys.
And Houston just proving. Coming up next, a brand new season of the WNBA tips off on CBS Sports Network as Chicago looks to prove that the sky is the limit for 2019 when they battle a fierce Minnesota Lynx squad right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And the SaberCats, well, they're just proving how valuable they are at home, getting good quality position, and it all starts at set piece.
It is, and they've had an amazing set piece all season, but now what they're doing is they're opening up their backs, letting their big athletes run, and that's what's getting them points.
Which players impressed you today, outside, of course, our man of the match?
Well, I thought Thran Palermo's really looked good. I mean, he's coming back from injury. He hadn't played for a while. This is his 5th game. Now he's looking at someone that Gary Gold should look at for Tokyo.
Well, there you have it, Gary Gold in Rugby World Cup 2019. Let's take a look at the updated standings after this victory here from the Houston SaberCats. Of course, they take over Utah as well, which is very important. And of course, 2-0 against Austin. That's very important for them. And of course, Austin, well, they have 1 game left to see if they can get that victory that eludes them.
Yeah, I mean, I think both Austin and Houston know where they stand, but every other game this weekend impacts the standings, with only San Diego guaranteed of making the playoffs. Even NOLA, who have been on the top for so long, could miss out if they don't play well.
And tomorrow, of course, 3 big ones that have all playoff implications. Take a look at those there, Pete. Which are your favourites?
Well, I'm really looking forward to New York, NOLA. For both of them, they're teams that haven't played that well. New York have to win. NOLA want to win. I think that's going to be the game of the Sunday.
Yeah, Pete, final thoughts of that game. Of course, such an exciting season this has been.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited about this. The Major League Rugby grows again next year. That's really exciting, but there's so much to play for, and I don't think anyone, I mean, San Diego would be your favorite, but I think there are 5 teams that could win the championship this year.
Well, there you have it. A barn buster 2019 season. Of course, more teams getting added in 2020 as well. We can't wait for the playoffs. Of course, June 8th and 9th, and then the 16th is the final. Well, it's going to be an absolute thriller going down to the wire. Final thoughts here on Paul Emmerich. Doing really well at Houston, isn't he?
He is. He's had a big impact. I think that, Paul was the head coach at Air Force, so he has head coaching ability, but in the professional game, it's a big step up for him. But I think he's learning that his philosophy works here. He enjoys the game. He wants other people to enjoy the game, and you can see Houston loving playing with each other.
For Pete Steinberg and Austin Ivan, I'm Dallin Stanford. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We'll send you to the WNBA basketball, Chicago Sky and Minnesota Lynx after the break.